Alright, sorry about that delay there. Alright. Yeah, sorry about the delay there. I forgot that my phone runs on batteries. So I just got it plugged into power. So I'm not sure where it cut off, but just put the brownie batter in the oven. I'm going to make the strawberry topping. So this is like one Fred Meyer package worth of strawberries. Add a little bit of sugar to it. And I'm going to kind of cook it down to like a strawberry syrup with like thick strawberry pieces in it. Something not too crazy, just strawberry and sugar. Thank you again for joining. Sorry for jumping off of camera every so often. I've been playing around with different camera setups. I did one yesterday that I really liked, so I'll probably do that the next stream around. The reason why I'm not doing that now is because all of the brownie tests and prototypes that I've done are off camera, and it's a little bit of a disaster zone. So I'm not going to show you. So you'll just have to take my word for it. I forget. I made 5 batches of brownies. I went through a lot of bags of chocolate. Part of the reason why I was in such a rush earlier today is because I was at the grocery store. I ran out of chocolate about an hour before going live, so I had to go to the grocery store, grab a couple bags of chocolate, and come back. And it wasn't until 30 minutes before I went live that I realized I ran out of sugar. So I had to go run to the grocery store and then go grab a whole bag of sugar. Unfortunately, it did not leave a lot of time for me to be able to do some necessary kitchen cleaning. That'll be it. Let me get you kind of close up on the action here. And so you can see here, I got strawberries cooking, a little bit of sugar in there. I'm going to wait to add more sugar because this is going to release a lot of juice and cook down quite a bit. So I'm just going to see how much it cooks down before doing that. Yeah, the vid cut out. My phone died, but we're back. On the brownie. That's coming together. This is going to be about probably 30 to 40 minutes before that banana ice cream is done. While this is kind of cooking down, I'm going to go and grab a double boiler. this off. Actually, you know what? I said I wasn't going to show you what was going on, but let me give you kind of a preview. So this is what I haven't gotten a chance to get caught up on. That's sort of been my work setup over there. I've been baking a whole bunch of stuff, so all of the dishes that I've been using as of late are kind of over there. Let me see. I don't think I put even that much. I'm going to lower this down because that is getting really hot. I didn't even put that much sugar in here, maybe a quarter of a cup. It's already released that much liquid. So we're already getting pretty close to strawberry sass town, but I'm going to use the heat from that strawberry. Oh yeah, I remember where I put it. This. Alrighty, so I'm actually going to make a chocolate sauce while I'm making my strawberry sauce to try and be as efficient as possible. So this is also a recipe I've been labbing. I've seen a lot of different recipes for magic sauce online. I haven't found one that I'm 100% happy with yet, but I think this one is the one that is probably the best one that I've been able to come up with. So this one is 50 grams of chocolate. And then about 30 grams of the coconut oil. We can get that in there. Alright, perfect. I'm just going to use the heat of the strawberry sauce here to melt this down until we get kind of a nice thin sauce. Oh, my door just opened by itself. Oh man, I must have literally been in such a rush that I didn't even close the door all the way. There we go. Alright. Now I didn't know you could make your own magic sauce. I always assumed it was something that you could only buy just because, you know, how unnatural is it to put like chocolate sauce in something and be able to shatter it? But yeah, just chocolate and coconut oil is all that you really need to make it. I would like to make this sweeter. I've been trying to figure out a way to do that. You can't add sugar to this. I tried that on attempt number 3, and sugar does not dissolve into this very well. You end up just getting a really gnarly, gritty sauce. I've tried using cornstarch, but got some mixed results with that as well. So right now, this has been the best compromise. Some dark chocolate, 50 grams, and then 30 grams of coconut oil. So we got kind of a nice, really satiny sheen to that. And once again, I want to thank everybody for hanging out in the chat. Always appreciate having you join me. Alright, so this is done. Let me go ahead and grab a little container for that. Alright. Yeah, I used up all my glass jars too because I've been putting all of my prototypes into glass jars. And I made so many that I used them all, so I've had to dump one out and rewash it. But actually, yeah. So that magic shell is done. I'm going to go and just kind of wash this down real quick. Now let me see where we're at on this strawberry sauce. Okay. It's a little bit tart, but since everything's going to be super, super sweet, I do want this kind of a little bit on the tart side. Let me add just a touch more sugar. What can you tell people who want to make ice cream but don't have a machine? That is a very good question. For a while I didn't have an ice cream machine. And there is one way that you can do it at home without one, and that depends on your ability to get dry ice. Now here where I live, you can get dry ice at like the Fred Meyer's or grocery store. They sell them by the block. And what I do is I'll take like a block of dry ice, get like a wooden dowel, break it into kind of smaller-ish pieces, and then use a pair of tongs. You don't want to touch the dry ice with your hands. Put that in the food processor and blend it up. And because it's not water, it actually grinds up to a very fine dry ice powder. And you could just throw that into your ice cream and stir it up. Dry ice is super cold, and it freezes it super fast, which is what you want, because the faster you freeze it, the finer the ice crystals are. So you don't end up eating just like kind of a block of ice cream, ice cubes. And since dry ice is basically frozen carbon dioxide, when it melts away, it turns into carbon dioxide, and so you won't have any dry ice residue. You'll have to leave it in the fridge for like a day or so, but since dry ice is colder than the freezer, it will melt in the freezer and kind of evaporate. It'll actually leave a little bit of a carbonated scent on your tongue since it's carbon dioxide. That's what I was doing for a little bit, because in my mind, I was justifying it, saying, you know, it's cheaper for me to just go get some dry ice instead of buying a dedicated ice cream machine. And then I realized I made just way too much ice cream. I was making ice cream more than I thought I was going to, and even though dry ice is a lot of fun to use, it isn't the safest thing to use, so I don't strongly recommend it. You have to really be careful and know what you're doing. Oh, brownie's done. Alright, so that brownie's done. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and set this over off camera to cool down a little bit. Alright, I think this strawberry sauce is done. Again, all this is strawberry, sugar, and a little salt. Actually, I'll add one more thing to that. Just going to add a little touch of vanilla. Alright, work. Alright, strawberry sauce done. Sweet. Alright, and it's here. Promise not to drop it, because that would be very sad. I'm going to go wash this out, and then I'm going to get started on the caramel. Alright. Sweet. Alright. So to recap, we got our chocolate magic sauce here, or chocolate magic shell sauce. We have our strawberry sauce. We have our ice cream going here, which is actually coming along very, very nicely. We got our brownie cooling. So now let me go ahead and just get this caramel sauce going. I'm going to start off with just a half cup of sugar. I really don't need a lot to make a decent amount of caramel. And now, normally the way you make caramel, you can just dissolve this in water until, or you can add water to this till it dissolves, cook the water out, and then caramelize the sugar, and then you add heavy cream to it. But you can, instead of water, use a different liquid. I am going to use rum. Ooh. Alright, and let me grab a little something. You know, once I get a budget for this show, I'm going to get like 3 different show spatulas just so that way I can switch in and out of them pretty quickly. Alright. So, we'll put this away. Go ahead and get the perfect. So now I'm just going to cook off all of the water and alcohol in here. So that's all the alcohol burning off of this thing. So once the flames die down, you know that all the alcohol's gone. IKEA? Oh, by the way, for anyone who's just joining us, this fire is intentional. Welcome. We're cooking off some rum here, and I just decided to light it just for some special effects and also just to know when all the alcohol's been cooked off. So there's still a little bit of a flame there. It's not easy to see, but it's a little bit of a blue one. Let me go ahead and move this. Oh, for all the cooking utilities? I've been actually meaning to get another one of these ones. This was a Kickstarter one that I got. Get it right. I've used it for so long that it's kind of discolored. So, it's overdue. I haven't seen if there's any other makers of it. But yeah, this is the sugar and then the rum. And at some point, all the water is going to be cooked down to this, so all that's going to be left is just molten sugar. And it takes a while for it to color down, but once it does, it's kind of a game of chicken. Show all the single people at IKEA can do for their cooking life. You know, actually, I only went to IKEA for one thing. I got my board gaming shelf at IKEA. But I've been meaning to get some more stuff. Right now, I have a queen size mattress, but it's on the floor right now. It'd be nice to get a frame for it. I've been living on a mattress on the floor for like the last 5 years or so. It's totally very comfortable. Ooh. So that's starting to get a little bit darker. It might be a little hard to tell on camera, but it's starting to get a little golden brown. It happens slowly, slowly, and then it happens really quickly. So let's see. So you always have to keep an eye on this anytime you're making your own caramel. And but we can take our eyes off it for a moment, just to take a look at what this is doing. Alright. That's real good. And it's coming along really, really nicely. I think IKEA is really good for furniture. I'm not sure if I would get cooking utensils there, though. I think I'd want to go to people who specialize in making cooking utensils. Just like I go to IKEA to, you know, to get cheap furniture from people who specialize in making cheap furniture, like IKEA. Good cheap furniture. Alright. Now I'm pretty sure at this point, you see how very slowly this thing is bubbling? That is essentially molten sugar status right there. So. Alright, ooh, I can see some color. It's starting to get darker. Alright, now here comes the game of chicken. You can see it starting to kind of color over here. And to give you a sense of how hot molten sugar can get, it's like, yeah, 300 degrees. Huh, why is it only getting brown on one side? Alright. So I'm going to wait till that gets dark. You can see it's starting to get dark pretty quickly. Alright, and I'm going to try and wait to get it as dark as I can without burning this thing. It's a nice caramel color, but I want it even darker. And then once I start to put a cream in, then I got to move fast because all that 300 degree heat is just going to evaporate out. Alright. I want it darker. I want it darker. 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 Okay. Woo! Alright. You want to be careful. You don't want to get burned by the steam while you're doing this. And I've cut the heat down because I don't want this to caramelize any further. Look at that. It's a very nice caramel color we got going on over there. Perfect. And that's why I wanted to go dark, because I knew that the whipping cream was going to dilute it a little bit, so I wanted to try and get as much caramelization as I could, because once you put the cream in, you can't really caramelize it anymore. You're sort of stuck with what you got. So now let's see how hot this thing is. Alright. I'm actually kind of curious how thick this sauce is. Because this is super hot, so it's really liquidy. It looks like it make a good sauce, but I wonder if it hardens to the point where it becomes like a caramel candy. Let me taste it and see where it's at. Yum. That's actually quite thick. So this could like melt back into a solid thing, but for our ice cream, or at least our ice cream sauce, totally fine. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to this. Actually a decent amount of salt, because this is almost pure sugar with some cream added for good measure. It's something I learned while I was making caramel for the first time. You have to add salt to this to really make it taste like caramel, and in fact, you sort of can't make caramel without adding salt to it. So anytime you see salted caramel stuff in the store, it's like, well, all caramel has salt in it. Otherwise, it doesn't actually taste like caramel. Okay. Alright. So where that was at, it was at caramel sauce. This is now becoming kind of like a salted caramel sauce. Alright. Awesome. Whew. Okay. Sweet. was an adventure. We got our caramel sauce done. I'm gonna go ahead and put up that little container. Turned out pretty darn well, if I don't say so myself. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think that's a pretty respectable looking caramel. So this here. All right. Actually, let me move this back over here. Let me go ahead and clear some of this stuff out of the way, and then I think we can get started on putting this thing together. Ooh, there is actually one more topping that I've got to make before we are good to go. So let me keep this out here. And put this away. So let me grab a whisk. The last thing I'm going to make is some whipped cream. This one's probably the easiest one of them all. It's cream, sugar, and a little bit of vanilla. I'm just making some for myself. I'm not going to make too much whipped cream, just a little bit. And I'll add a little bit of vanilla for good measure. Now you can totally whip this with a KitchenAid. That is totally fine. You can also do it by hand, whichever you prefer. Alright, let me see how quickly I can get this in the whipped cream. So somebody told me, I forget who, that apparently whisking it back and forth is actually faster than doing kind of the traditional whisk method. Because when you're doing it in a circle, you're kind of just pushing it around in a circle, whereas back and forth, you kind of use the own force of the cream against itself as it moves. So yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to see if I can make that just a little thicker. Oh, perfect timing. Well, let's see. Okay. I think that whipped cream turned out very well. Alright, let me go ahead and put this whipped cream in here. And when you're the chef, you are totally allowed to lick off of the bowl. Kind of your right. Put these things away. Alright, let me see where this ice cream's at. Okay. Spin it for probably just a couple more minutes just to get it hard, but otherwise it's done. Alright, so let me go ahead and grab a bowl. Ready? All of these? Normally I don't use my fingers, but right now it's kind of the closest utensil I've got. I'm going to wash this off. Alright. Sweet. Thank you for bearing with me all on this Sunday stream. It's actually going to be one of my quicker ones. It looks like I'm pretty much getting near the end of this. One thing I think I need to test now is how the brownie came out. Alright. Alright, so that's our chocolate brownie. Let me cut a little piece off. Alright. That thing came out pretty nice. Got kind of a nice chewy middle in there. Got a nice dark color to it. And this is the thickness I was looking for, because I don't want it too thick if it's going to be part of a sundae there. Grab a few things. Alright, I think we're about ready to assemble this bad boy. So let me cut a little bit of brownie here. And yeah. I was going to say maybe just that one brownie, but I think I'll add a couple more just for a little pizzazz. Why not? And let me see where I'm at on this thing. Alright, I think that's scoopable. Let me go ahead and grab some banana ice cream for this thing. Now this can firm up in the freezer a little bit and kind of get more scoopable into like a round ice cream shape, but I think for the purposes of what we're doing, I think this is totally serviceable. So banana ice cream, very soft serve at the moment. I'm not an expert player or anything, so I'm just kind of winging it at the moment. That's not a napkin. That, some of the rum caramel. And anyone who lives close by will have to have an ice cream party, because I definitely have more ice cream and more toppings than one person can really justifiably eat. And last but not least, bada bing. Alright, so that is our brownie sundae. Somebody is visiting the gym tomorrow. Yes. Yes indeed, somebody is visiting the gym tomorrow. And this is yeah, and that's not including all the brownies that I made earlier today too. So here we go. Yep, so we got our brownie, we got the banana ice cream hidden under all of this, strawberry topping, the chocolate, and let me see actually if this actually got to a point where it's crackable. Yeah! Alright, so it actually does crack as well. So we got our cracked magic shell chocolate sauce, got a rum caramel on there, vanilla, whipped cream, pecans, and then store-bought maraschino cherry. So we made it. We made all of the toppings for the brownie sundae, and we yeah. So thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate all of your guys' support and everything. It's always fun to cook with other people instead of, you know, it's always fun to cook with company. So thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, people who live close by, I'll kind of send you messages to come over and help me get rid of or help me eat some of this stuff. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Until the next stream, and I'll post when that is on my Instagram, I'll bid you farewell. Thank you so much. Bye.